Ladies, if you have a crush on a guy and then you find out he's married, it doesn't change anything. Get his wife's number, get his number, and get to know them both.
There are some living Jezebels out there, just so you know. And men, they're everywhere. You are minutes away from destroying your marriage, destroying your legacy, and losing the respect of your kids.
Boy asked me to go on a date, and I said, yes, I'll go on a date with you. He said, okay, where you want to go? I said, we can do like dinner and a helicopter ride. He talking about you want to do all that for a first date? That's not even a lot. Like, what?
A dinner? I can see that. A helicopter ride on the first date? I can't see that. Matter of fact, I'm going to have to watch that one more time since it was so short.
Y'all, this boy asked me to go on a date, and I said, yes, I'll go on a date with you. He said, okay, where you want to go? I said, we can do like dinner and a helicopter ride. He talking about you want to do all that for a first date? That's not even a lot. Like, what?
Who was her dad? Because she did Lulu. A helicopter ride? Man, you know how much that going to cost? Helicopter ride, that going to at least be a stack right there. At least minimum.
I am manifesting that somebody opens a nationwide chain of women-only gyms so we don't have to listen to men grunt and we don't have to be literally assaulted with our eyeballs.
And you know what? Men would probably be grateful because they're sick of working out like this all the time. Because if they look so much as in your general direction, they're accused of stuff that they didn't do. Oh, he's staring at me. He looked at me for half a second. Whatever. Open your stupid woman-only gyms. Watch it go out of business.
As this military husband tried to leave, his wife crossed the line and got physical. But this time he didn't react. He recorded it. Then he went straight to the police station and told the officer about the years of abuse and the cheating while he was deployed. Halfway through his statement, he froze. She was outside. She had followed him. When the officer spoke to her, the tears came instantly. She avoided the incident and started throwing accusations instead. But the officer kept bringing it back to one thing. What happened today? And when she ran out of ways to dodge it, she admitted she put her hands on him.
Oh, look at Daddy.
He's not my dad, Mom.
Ava.
My dad is in jail and I miss him.
Well, how that nigga fix this shit then?
We don't like to be called liars. So he came out the first time with his charmant wife and said, I make up shit.
And regarding John, same approach as Greg. He sees that the videos he makes about us bring him tremendous amount of engagement. He's so desperate, he has to literally make shit up. I'm not going to go into depth about what he's talking about, but I understand they're playing the game.
Now I'm going to show everybody the evidence, okay?
Okay.
And show you all how this is real. The phone, if you look here on the screen, this is the phone itself with all the messages in WhatsApp, which can't be fake, which can't be AI,
Damn.
right? And if you look at the number, the 917 number on top, that's Larry's number. I reached out to my lawyer, and he reached out to his old manager of 10 years, Adam Silver, and he confirmed that that's Larry's phone number. Now, we have the phone, the messages in WhatsApp, the number traced back to Larry, right? How is this fabricated, and how is this a lie? So, I think we know this shit is the truth, because listen, the more you lie, the more your reputation is fucked up, you ass.
And that's why I think that it's important to be able to talk about these situations as they occur. Because the male space is a lot different than the women's space. Like, you can't have people out on top that have shifty morals, right? Like, they have to be checked. There has to be a system of accountability because there has to be checks and balances of behavior or attitudes that should versus should not be copied. My advice to Larry is to talk about that it is truthful if it is, which I think that it is, and then also have another discussion about the negatives of steroid abuse and or just never bring it up or never talk about it ever again. No matter what content is created, you just don't even respond back to it, and especially don't respond back to somebody that does as much investigation as what a John Bravo does, because the internet always remembers.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not right there in the situation, but look like your wife clowning you, doc. That's what that looks like. Your wife clowning you, man. And, you know, it could be AI in today's age, like they said. It could be fake. But You know, we have seen where women will clown their husbands online. Just clown them for no reason.
What are some things you look for in a man?
Damn.
Kind, integrity, someone who is active, someone who's physically fit,
Right.
someone who is
Those nails too, though. Why they get those nails so long? Like, she got long nails but no hair. I don't know. Bruh. I don't know about that.
involved with their family.
Her body nice though.
Yeah, that's pretty much for what I like.
Okay.
Traveling in the fried Gambit on a hippie trail, head full of zombies. I met a strange lady. She made.
So everybody hates the passport bros, right? Because everyone says they go overseas, they get these girls, and these women will never love them. Why not just stay in America and pay these same women the same money and take care of them the way that you would take care of a woman from overseas, right? It's not that simple. You go overseas, you get these women, they're trained to be submissive, they're trained to cook, they're trained to clean. Yeah, they may not love you, they may not even fucking like you, but they're gonna give you the, the illusion that they like and love you. They're gonna give you as many kids as you want, as long as they are taken care of with that green card. Now, let's just say he gave that same exact money and that same exact lifestyle to a black girl in America. She's for sure not fucking cooking. She's for sure not fucking clean. Hell, she's not even fucking listening. And you black girls have made it clear, like, I'm not listening, I'm not being submissive, I'm not giving you hella kids, like, I'm not doing this and the fifth. So why not go and pay for exactly what the fuck you want? Why would I even play games in America if I know I can go overseas and get exactly what the fuck I want? I mean, again, perception is everything. And just like these niggas, they be running games on y'all all day. Y'all think these men love y'all. Y'all keep the baby, all this other stuff. It's the exact same thing. It's the exact same perception that someone likes and loves you. Again, the passport bros are onto something because they're paying for exactly what they want.
This girl thinks the cartel is going to beat the United States military.
Oh, we might be saved by like the most unexpected group of people. Do you know who Trump's trying to declare war on? The cartel. Oh, please do. Please do. Fuck around and find out, Trump.
So you guys just want to stay single, right?
True. A lot of gentlemen out there would honestly rather stay single.
Because why else would you stop approaching women in public entirely?
Other than the reason that a lot of women have told men to leave them alone, they don't want them in their lives and they don't need them. Quite frankly, a lot of women's personalities really aren't conducive to an actual conversation, let alone a relationship.
Because I feel like back in the day, like early 2000s, maybe the 90s, it was so common for men to walk up to women and, start a little conversation. Nowadays, that does not seem to happen anymore.
There's a lot of men out there have woken up and seen what some women out there are really like. So, frankly, most of them would rather stay single than risk being with some of the types of women that they see every day on social media.
So tell me, why is it that you guys would rather just die alone?
Because a lot of men have realized that it's not only easier, but it's much more peaceful being single. And not only that, but a lot of men have woken up to the fact that they have self-respect, and they don't need to be in a relationship to be considered a complete person.
You cannot make this shit up.
In society and who's like really contributing to society, it's men and women have equal roles. We can work the same jobs.
In terms of having society function, though, I'm not actually sure that women participate nearly to the same degree that men do. For example, telecommunications, water systems, waste collection, firefighting, physical labor jobs, transportation jobs. How is it that you guys get the ingredients for your boba? How is it so the farmer...
You can't even take women like this serious. Women like this shouldn't even be able to get on these platforms. We're in hell. Do she think that we have equal roles? Women are not building infrastructures. Women are not doing any hard jobs at all.
You sitting over there with a hardened heart, with anger and bitterness. And God sees that. God says, I look at the heart. You look on the outward appearance. When God went to go, he sent Samuel to go anoint David as king. The father brought out all the brothers, and Samuel looked at them, and they were big and strong and muscular, and they looked like warriors. But God said, I've already discounted them. He said, because you judge by the outward appearance, but I judge by the heart. And God says that our heart is deceitfully wicked, desperately wicked. Who can know it? So So you over there with that old deceitful heart. And I'm being bold because I need you to snap out of it. Because Satan got you hoodwinked, tricked, and bamboozled into believing that somehow that you are really faithful to God when you are in complete rebellion. And you wonder why you having challenges in other areas. See, the thing about Satan, he don't have to come at you the way that you rebel. So if you're in rebellion, you give Satan legal access to come and tear your life down. Because now you have opened up the door and you remove God's cover. I want you to sit on that for a minute. Sit with that for a second. Some of the challenges you have in your finances, with your children, in your business, on your job, in your relationships, has nothing to do with that. It's all because you've been in a rebellion against God as it relates to your submission to your husband. Sis, ladies, this ain't nothing to play with. You can't play with God. As it was a play that came out way back in the day when I was a young lady. God, your arms is too short to box with God. You've been losing. You've been getting whooped left, right, and center. You sitting over there with a hardened heart, with anger and bitterness. And God sees that.
I'm telling you, women think they just so smart. They don't think that a man can see what they're doing. You know, they really don't, and they look like an idiot.
You think it's okay to date a man for money?
100%. I think if your man doesn't have money, you should leave him.
So why wouldn't you date a broke guy?
Because he's broke. I need to be able to go out to dinner. I need my nails done, my hair. I mean, like, we need stuff.
I mean, but I think that if he treats you right and he's got like a plan,
maybe if he has a plan to make money, but like if he just plans on being poor and living off me, like I'm pre-med. I don't need some poor ass man leeching off me.
So if you met a guy and
poor, I wouldn't meet a guy that was poor. I wouldn't meet a poor man. I only meet rich men.
So you don't think that puts you in a gold digger category?
100%. I think it puts me in a gold digger category, but I think if you're pretty enough, it doesn't matter.
And you think the men watching this would agree
100%.
that you're worth the
100%.
the wanting that man to spend and spoil?
Yep, 100%.
I mean, at least she knows she a gold digger, and she's definitely a red flag. That's crazy. Let me know what you think.
One of the big things was the fact that women talked a lot about maintaining multiple affairs. Wow. I kind of went in thinking, oh, they've got a husband and one person outside, but that was not the case for many of them. They were sort of juggling partners, and their reasoning made sense. They said, I've already put all my needs into one person and depended on them, my spouse, and that's not worked out for me. So why would I do that again?
My goodness.
In an affair.
Your book sounds fascinating.
Thank you.
If people want to get it, it's at anywhere bookstores or anywhere books are sold.
Yes, absolutely. You can get it on Amazon.
All right.
Yes.
Perfect. So check that out, The Secret Life of the Cheating Wife.
Now there's an expectation for men to still be prioritizing marriage in a modern day society here today when we have justifications. We have the truth. Seems like the women nowadays are not even believing in happily ever after no more. Maybe the entire time it was a complete and utter guise. It used to be a gold standard where the women were virgins and there was like this understanding, and that shit went all away when we encroached on the sexual revolution. And the thing is that generally is thought of within people who are single, but apparently it's not. It's also a thing that happens within marriage as well. And to know that the general sentiment today of some of these modern day ladies is to cheat to keep. But the reality of this is that this is some straight feminist ass shit. Why? Because when you consider sex between both men and women, you know, we cannot equate those two things, right? It's an act, but from a physiological perspective, we are different. And because of those differences, whether it be hormonally, whether it be actually physically with our innies versus our outies, we cannot treat it the same, which is why I say that women cheating is far more diabolical than a man cheating. It's all wrong. It's all lying. It's all incorrect. I don't think nobody should be doing it, but it has far more consequences onto women than to men.
Can I submit to you that there were, well, I guess it's getting worse and worse, but there were women that were out here and they were fast, and people will call them out for that, right? But it seemed like it seemed like women were more discreet. It seemed like relationships in general were more discreet versus what you see today when people are just out here openly talking about, yeah, that's what I'm doing, I'm not going to stop. It's like people today don't have any shame.
This might be the saddest thing you watch all day.
Oh man.
Oh. Oh. Maybe they were right about men. That's long. I feel bad for him. This kind of goes hard though.
Now you know that woman gonna get down to Florida and she gonna go berserk. She gonna go berserk. She about to enter into a villain era.
What the fuck? Like,
Weird shit.
that's
If
that
you don't
high
want to be
power
under
shit.
my control, get the fuck on.
What do you mean?
Any bitch
Under
with
what
me
control?
is I run the program. Simple as that.
What
Any bitch
program?
with me is getting ran by me. Period. Not by what they think, not by what they want. They're getting ran by me.
What are you talking about?
You're under my program. That's what I'm talking about. You're under my establishment. I'm not confiding and fixing myself for you. You fix yourself to me or get the fuck on. Go find somebody else's program.
I'm not fixing
Go find
shit.
somebody
What are you
else's.
This is exactly how you're supposed to handle bitches. Literally. This right here. You want to know why? Because you understand your worth. Somebody else might be like, oh no, I would do anything to be able to sniff her panties. But that's exactly why you have a shit life and nobody gives a fuck about you. Alright? I'm sorry, but you need to understand this real quick. You are the man and you're the one in charge. Period. At the end of the day, that is what it is. If a woman doesn't want to get with the program, then you get rid of her. Because it is not your job to deal with her. It is your job to build for yourself. And it is her job to be a part of that. That's what a lot of people don't want to understand. That's what a lot of people lost through the years for some reason. But a man's job is not to cater to a woman. A man's job is to actually worship the Lord and do his bidding. And a woman's job is to make it easier for a man to be able to do that. If you're ever in a relationship where a woman thinks that she's going to run shit, she tells you how shit's going to play out. She tries to tell you you're controlling, tries to tell you you're this or that, or you shouldn't think that way, or it's not even like that. Bitch, drop that motherfucker. It is up to men to start helping other men realize what being a man is, and that means not settling or accepting for anything less than you deserve simply because you want to be able to whiff some puss. I used to be a big slut back in the day, and let me tell you something. No puss on this earth is worth the headache. There is always better puss. Always. If the puss isn't better, the neck is better. The neck isn't better, then she does something with her hands that you never thought was possible. No matter what, there will always be something better. Stop settling for less just because, oh my God, it's the tightest I've ever had. No, you don't get it. She lets me put it in her butt. I've never had that before. Okay, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry that you settle for less because your lust is more important. But guess what? There's a woman out there, I promise you. There is a woman out there waiting for you right now to lead her and guide her, and she's still gonna let you put it in the butt. Man, it's our job to fix society, and acting like this is exactly how you fix society. When there's enough females who don't have any men paying for their existence just because they're pretty, when there's enough men that break up with women because they don't know how to act right, everybody benefits.
Yeah. You don't want to be a jerk about it. You know, he just sounds so aggressive all the time, but that's just the way he is. You don't want to be a jerk about it, but yeah, you're supposed to be doing your thing.
This is wild. Listen.
Fuck, man. I think about it sometimes and I'm like, my life would be so much easier if I just liked nice guys, right? If I liked guys who were honest, guys who were kind, generous, thoughtful man who's gonna bring me flowers or something. I don't know. You know, if I liked guys who just went out of their way and thought about me. The bare minimum. If I just liked guys who gave me the bare minimum, That would be fucking awesome, but I am a little bit more below than that, right? I like liars. I do. I'm gonna admit it. I like men who are assholes. Men who are gonna treat me like shit. I do. I like men who are gonna go out of their way to make me jealous. And then they come back and I'm like, babe, why'd you do that?
Even if a guy is fucking amazing, like great, everything they have, check all the boxes, good looking, they're emotionally intelligent, they're emotionally available, they treat you right, they buy you things, they're nice to you, they're really good to you. All the things, it can still not feel right.
I like to feel something because I'm a pretty happy person, pretty peaceful person on my own. So when I have a guy come in and fuck up my life and make me feel something, I'm like, I love this. I love this. This is so shitty and great. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Okay, I didn't ask for this life.
Guys, prime example. Don't go out your way to impress these women. Be yourselves and let everything else follow. Stop leading with your money, man, and being a nice guy. Moral to the story.
Fellas, stop being nice.
But I'm not gonna lie, the sweetest guys I've ever met I didn't like.
Damn. Tookie just told me, my sister just told me, she was like, it's because you don't like a good guy. I don't think it's that. I just think the good guy isn't my type. I like a good guy though. I like a good guy. She said she thinks it's because we don't like a good guy. I do like a good guy.
I love a good
But I feel like the good guys don't look and act the way I want them to. Like, they be kind of corny sometimes. Their look isn't the look I like. It just, that's what I'm saying. There's no in between with these guys nowadays.
These chicks don't even know how to explain the good guy that they like. Oh, I like a good guy, but I don't like the way a good guy looks. So I don't, you know, they say I don't like good guys. They don't like good guys. They don't like nice men. They like to be put in their place. They like to be cheated on. They like to be all this. They like a guy to establish dominance. They don't like to be respected. That shit gives them the ick. We told you this already. They don't like that. It's boring. You're boring. You're not adventurous. You're not fun. When there's chaos, there's fun. There's adventure. There's, you know, every day I'm waking up and what do I got to worry about? My day is filled with worries and chaos and everything that she likes. You can't have stability with women like this. They're already indoctrinated. They're already stuck in their ways. They've been through mad trauma. If something is nice and something is too good to be true, now they're alerted. Now they're like, nah, something's going on here, and then more trouble brews. That's how it is dating these chicks, bro. Like, that's why the nice women that talk good, they set themselves apart real quick, because you could already tell when watching this. You're like, ew, just the way they talk, the way they sound. These chicks sound annoying. They sound loud, obnoxious, and you could tell by what comes out of their mouth. Let them talk. They will tell you who they are. They will tell you what they like. You will know the truth about them based on how they speak. And this is an easy one right here, yo. Stay away from women like this. We always tell you all the time, stop being super nice to women like this. Save your niceness for chicks that tell you that nice shit matters.
Seriously? This is it?
Yes.
A blanket on the grass? Plastic cups? You brought sandwiches?
You sound disappointed.
Because I am. I thought you were planning something special, not cheap.
Define special.
You know exactly what I mean. A proper restaurant, fine dining, a place that looks expensive.
The value's the bill?
Don't twist it. I just expected effort.
I did put in effort.
Effort would have been reservations, wine, a chef, not whatever this is.
Tell me, Maya, what makes a date valuable to you?
The experience, the standard, the way it feels.
And you think a receipt creates that feeling?
It's not a receipt, it's a statement.
A statement to who?
To people. To me, that you take me seriously.
I take you serious. That's why I plan something with thought, not noise.
Thought doesn't look like this.
That's the problem. You're too busy looking at the price tag to see the value.
Wow.
Price is external, value is internal. Price is what strangers charge, value is the intent, the intention, the connection.
Connection doesn't pay for fine dining.
And fine dining doesn't guarantee connection.
You're acting like money doesn't matter.
Money matters for living. It doesn't define love, it doesn't define me, and it doesn't define what I gave you today.
So I'm just supposed to be grateful for sandwiches?
You're supposed to be present.
Present?
I listened to what you like. I chose a view you'd post. I brought your favorite fruit. I planned time, my time, quietly and fully.
But it's still cheap.
Then say the truth. You wanted to feel chosen by a restaurant.
That's not fair.
What's unfair is reducing a man's effort to a number at the bottom of a bill.
So what now?
Now you decide what you're actually looking for.
And what do you think I'm looking for?
A partner or a receipt? If your love needs a price tag to feel real, it isn't love. It's approval. And approval is always for sale.
Professional, and I make a significant amount more money than my man.
I always have an issue because I want to do things on the spur of the moment. Let's go on a trip. Let's go on vacation. And he'll be like, no, babe, we're going to have to wait. You know, I got to save up. Why is it an issue?
Never date a man that makes significantly less than you. Exactly. Look, I ain't telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. Basically what she's saying is a man is broke. Okay. Let me tell you this. Have y'all ever dated a broke man? He's mean. He's frustrated. He's nagging. He tries to dim your light, okay? You deserve somebody that is semi-equally yoked. And I mean, when you break down the tax dollars and you do the tax deduction, that y'all can afford the same, okay? Let him go be with somebody who will make him feel like a king, and you go find a that could afford your lifestyle.
Hold on. And by the way, guys, I've said this many times. You guys know. This is what I think is the issue with tonight's conversation is once in a while you have someone like Kitty there in the bottom left who will serve some coffee, right? She'll share more times than not gems that can help somebody whose end goal is a healthy relationship, mostly marriage. However, the majority of people out there are just like out of their minds. And that's the problem when it comes to finding somebody who aligns with your end goal. Because you can agree with some of what most people say. You agree, say, okay, I agree with you there. I agree with you there. But when people usually start deviating off and you realize that they just don't think the way you do when it comes to foundational values, it typically is because they, number one, have a different goal than you, or they define marriage differently, right? They're looking for partnerships and they think that they are a man. And in this situation, they are looking for something that just does not exist for them.
Hold on. I think that the reason why this man makes it an issue is because he only sees provision as monetary. When you deal with a man that understands that provision extends far beyond just what I can do for you financially, then even if he's down financially, he knows that he can pour into you love. He knows that he can pour into you safety. He knows that he can teach you some things. He knows that he can pour into you. He knows that he can stand 10 toes down on his morals and his values. He knows that he can be faithful. He knows that he can be committed. He knows he can be a good father. He knows he can be a community leader. Sometimes it's not about what he can do for you financially. It's about what he can provide in every other area.
Man, these women don't care about that shit.
Drink the coffee. It'll make you feel better.
I mean, that's easy enough to say, but if she could find that person, then she wouldn't be there, right? So it's pointless. What you just said there is pointless. The advice that you just gave her is pointless because she's still going to be single. Well, would you rather her date a broke person? I would rather date her date somebody who she's in alignment with, because it's not going to matter whether they're broke or not. One person's going to pick up the slack in another area. I bet y'all wouldn't say if she couldn't fix no car. You know what? If she can't fix a car, she can't change her own oil. Don't be going and filling that car with no gas. If she can't do it herself, don't do it. If she's not able to get to fix her brakes and she got to go and pay for it, draining money from the bank account, don't marry her. She's always going to waste money. She's always going to spend money. She's never going to learn to do things on her own. She's only going to be good at this one thing that's making her money, this business right here. She gonna make all this money and she gonna think, oh, well, I just pay for everything. And she's never going to develop skills. She just gonna think, oh, well, we having a problem. Let's go to therapy. And she's gonna think the therapist is gonna solve it because she's just gonna throw money at it. She's not gonna do the real work because she has the money now and she's only good at this. She's always gonna use that sort of mindset to try to solve problems when these problems are different, and you're gonna have to take a different pathway to solve your problems, to find a solution. So don't mess with her, because when you look at it, her education might be in family therapy, but this over here is relationship therapy. This over here is relationship therapy, so she's not gonna be able to do it. She's not gonna have the comprehension. She's not gonna understand. That's how dumb y'all sound. That's how stupid y'all sound. Well, if he's broke, we're not talking about a man that it don't even matter, actually. If the man is working his job and he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, right? I could see if he was a bum. I could see if he just wasn't trying. But too many times we're out here disqualifying men that are hardworking men because, oh, he's not on your level financially. Well, you had to get up there somehow. If the man connects with you and he does things for you, why not? And y'all wonder why y'all are single. Y'all wonder, y'all have time to go to these type of shows because you ain't got nothing else to do. Well, I'm so fulfilled in life and I do this and I do, you ain't got nothing else to do. Don't nobody want you. So it don't really go to all the shows that you want. If they had a show in Baltimore and you lived in Texas, shoot, you got the money, get on the plane. Go to Baltimore if you want to. If they having a show in Miami the next night, get on another plane and go to Miami if you want to. You ain't got nothing to do. You ain't got no responsibility. Why not? You might as well. Y'all so bad at relationships, you might as well fill up your time being busy, because you're not going to get in a relationship anytime soon with this type of advice.
Roughly. Let's quantify it. Let's go.
Numbers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like 45, 50.
Stop it. Get some help. $50,000 a month. So you need $50,000 a month.
Let's say my partner doesn't allow me to work. I am going to look at you and say, are you paying all my bills?
She's moving
because
the
in order for me to
goalposts.
sit down, somebody have to pay all my bills. And not just my bills. I need extra money because you can't give me my bill money and then I'm left with nothing. And that's honestly, that's what really becomes expensive because my bills alone are already really high.
Yeah.
So I need a little bit more, not just for hair, nails and stuff, but I need a little bit more because I need to be able to save and I need a backup because after we break up or anything happens in between me and you, I need security until I can find not another job, but you know what I mean? So I can get back into what I used to do before. It sounds like a really crazy number, honestly.
It is.
It's not just my house where I live at, you know. I have other properties, they gotta get paid. You know, sometimes they need a new air conditioner, a new boiler, a filter, and I consider those bills because no matter what, I have to pay for them.
Okay. My question is, what does the man get for that investment? If I'm investing $50,000 a month into you, right? What do I get out of that?
I'm not asking you to invest.
No. I'm just saying.
He's asking you to spend, baby.
I mean, whatever he wants. If you're asking me not to work,
So I
there
get
you go.
The benefit is that you're not working. That's the benefit that I get.
I mean, the benefit, I'm not working, I'm home, I'm being peaceful, I'm making sure everything's good at the house, I'm cleaning, I'm cooking, and, you know, whatever you're requiring.
What this young lady is requesting. You see the trickery that she's doing as well. To move the goalposts of, you know, let's say that I wasn't working. Of course, a man is going to have to be a provider because you are not providing for yourself. We have no argument there, baby girl. But the argument of a $50,000 a month lifestyle, what are y'all buying every month? Real estate expenses into that number, dozens of pieces of property or very large commercial real estate opportunities. And you don't strike me as that, but maybe I got that one wrong. The type of dude that can afford something like this and not break his bank too crazy is probably at about $5 to $6 million a year plus, okay? Because then he's probably making about, like, let's say $450,000 to $500,000 per year or something like that. So then 10% of that would go to his harlot. And I can see some dudes coming off of 10% of what they earn per month in order to be walking next to an aesthetic like this. But it just boggles my mind because you know that they're there just for the money. You know that she has uncountable amount of photos into random men's phones that she doesn't even know that can just purchase these things from her various e-thought websites. It just makes no sense to me. This podcast is called Earn Your Leisure, not Earn Your Headache.
What century are we in?
2000, or not the 20th century, the 2026. Yeah, 20th century.
How many stars are on the U.S. flag?
52. Right? Isn't it?
No.
What country did the U.S. gain its independence from?
Texas.
If a dozen eggs costs $3, how much is each egg?
12 divided by 3. So the whole dozen is $3. So 12 divided by 3, right?
Yeah.
Per
egg, he says.
The reality is the Sister co-star who framed her divorce as a graduation that a lot of her fans were congratulating her for. She graduated from her marriage, has been slowly facing the consequences. And what's interesting to me is I saw a recent post that was shared on the Shade Room of her saying that she's ready to love again. And this is why I think that's confusing. But first, check out the video for yourself. So again, the caption on this video reads, Tia Mowry says she's ready to fall in love again. She gets a text message there. It's supposed to be some type of I guess, introduction to her dating life. And it reads, "Hi, Tia. How are you doing? Thinking about you and checking in."
Hey, I'm doing okay. I truly feel like I'm really taking care of little Tia. You know, these past 3 years. Oh my God, I'm about to cry. Sorry. I really feel like in these past 3 years, I have gotten to know myself. There have been lots of moments of solitude and silence, but I feel like that is where growth happens. You know, what my therapist told me, she said, Tia, you know, you've done a lot of healing. You've done a lot of growing and you've done a lot of reading. And now it's time for you to get out there and to apply what you have learned. I'm ready. I'm ready to fall in love again. Like, I am ready for love.
And so you guys heard it for yourself. Tia Mowry says that her therapist told her that she's now ready to go apply what she's been learning in her sessions, her therapy sessions. And she says, hey, she's happy that her daughter there is doing well. But what I personally found interesting about this actual video is she's been dating. However, she's introducing herself again to the world like, here I go. I'm finally stepping into the dating market. Will this work out? When we already know it hasn't been working out. In fact, from what I remember, she was legally divorced by April 2023. And from what I remember, from 2023 till now, she's been dating and she's been failing miserably. Why? Because when your definition of a successful marriage is graduating from that marriage, then there's something wrong with how you view marriage. Why? Well, because if you believe happiness is a good enough reason to leave your marriage, divorce your husband, and ruin your family, then you probably have issues in other areas of your life that have to do with dating.
Like that fact that you brought up she was already dating. You know, once again, these modern women, they think to an unhealthy degree that they're the main character in everybody else's story. And so they have to announce what they're doing to stay relevant. You don't. You can just date. You be quiet as you can. I mean, because you're a celebrity, people are going to see you, but as quiet as you can keep it and as private as you can keep it. There have been some celebrities you know who they're dating, you know who they're married to, but you don't know much about their private life because they just don't walk around saying a whole bunch about it.
I don't know about y'all, but
just another day in the office. Viewer discretion is advised.
I done had a man cook, clean, pay all the bills, run me bath water, spoil me, feed me grapes, massage me down, bitch. And I wasn't submissive at all. I talked the fuck back. Probably slapped him around a little bit.
Let me start off by saying I don't believe her one bit. Not even a little bit. Because what you're trying to tell me is you had a man that did everything that you desired, right? And somehow, some way, he is no longer in your presence. You never submitted to him. He would cook, clean. You would sometimes abuse him. And somehow, some way, he stayed and he did everything you wanted him to do. I don't believe it. And if it is true, let us see him. I guarantee she pull out a picture of one of them lame-ass niggas that don't get no kind of attention, that's desperate for a woman's validation. And at that point, it don't even count because you just taking advantage of the weak. You're a predator.
You know, but this yabby yab. So when y'all talk about submitting to a nigga, I shut the fuck up because I ain't doing that. I got everything I wanted without doing that. And I ain't finna start now. Like, what the fuck? I'm the spoiled one. I'm going to stay spoiled.
Yeah, you're spoiled because you got to pay for all the shit yourself. That man you talking about, if he actually existed, is not in the picture anymore. You're speaking in past tense. He's a has-been. So not only did you pick up one of the undesirables, you couldn't even keep him. Yeah, this story ain't making much sense. But you know what, you're right. Go ahead. Continue on the way you've been going. Don't submit, because you get everything you want without doing that. I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah, keep the change.
If you're a father and you don't own a gun and you don't know how to fight, explain to me how you're a good father.
I know what I'd like to say about this, but I'm going to let somebody else give you a response to this video this time. Check it out.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, come, I want to ask you a question. Come sit up here with me for a second. I want to ask you about something. Okay, so I saw a video today where this man was saying that if you don't own a gun and if you can't fight, then you're not a good father. Do you think, like, me owning the guns that I do you think that has anything to do with me being a dad and a good dad? Do you think, like, I used to fight a lot when I was younger, and I would fight guys to defend my friends, but do you think me fighting has anything to do with me being a good dad?
No.
What do you think makes me...
It does mean you could protect your kid, but that
Sure.
doesn't mean you're a good dad.
What do you think makes me a good dad?
Being good to your kids and actually caring for them.
That's a pretty good answer. Do you think, like, the way I love you, the way I teach you, like, when I teach you how to take care of yourself, how to take care of our home and our family?
If you just let your kid be, like, let them do whatever they want, but only, like, just have a million guns and then just fight a lot, how does that make you a good, parent?
Right, like, if all I did was own guns and fight, that doesn't make me a good father to you, does it?
Yeah, because if you're just not caring about them, like, actually loving them, helping them, like, and stuff like that, like, actually giving them stuff to play with and stuff like that, you're not being a good person.
Do you think the way that, like, for example, like, helping you with your school, teaching you how to, you know, like, how a home works, teaching you how to take care of yourself, teaching you how to treat other people,
And how to drive, and
teaching
use
you how
the
to
steering
drive.
wheel.
Do you think those types of things is what makes me a good dad?
Yeah, because here, go do whatever you want. But only just fighting and having a gun doesn't make you a good dad. Because you actually have to, like, be a dad instead of just having stuff.
You can't.
You know what you should probably do to get revenge on that guy? You could make a video and have that video like you did for the Tegan, but instead post it up, and you could say, do not follow this. This is not how you be a good dad.
So, like, I should probably tell people that video and him saying you need to own guns and you need to fight in order to be a good dad, I should probably tell people that's not how you be a good dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, kid. I just wanted to talk to you about that for a minute.
Well, it was an incomplete statement. I think it sounded like he was trying to say you're not a good father because a father protects, right? And if you don't go to the gym, if you don't know how to fight, and if you have no means of protection, somebody just breaks in your house, and you're at their mercy. You're at their mercy, which, if you really think about it, I mean, you can have all those things and somebody break in and you still be at their mercy. So, I mean, there's that too. But I see what he's saying, to be honest with you. I do see what he's saying. There's a little bit more to it than that. People try to move their family to a safer space for that reason. But, you know, I do see what he's saying.
I don't get how baby daddies be saying they struggling, going through stuff, when you don't even got the kid. You don't even take care of the kid. So how I'm saying, like, how you going through something and you struggling when you ain't even got the kid? Like, you got free time. Like, how you struggling? I got the kid. You never had a kid. How you struggling? I be confused with that.
I wish you could pay a man. When those guys got to write those thousands of dollars every month, because I was one of them at one point, having to write them checks and having to take on extra jobs and extra shifts and hustle on the side. You ain't no free time, because at the same time, while I'm paying pretty much your bills, I'm having to still pay my bills so I can have a place to stay. I can have a car to drive.
What's your age?
18.
What's the most amount of money you've spent on a man in one night?
Like $10, like 20.
Out of all your relationships, that's the most?
I'd say, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's flip it. What's the most amount of money a man has spent on you in a night?
Like 20,000. Around there.
20,000? Were you all together at the time, or?
Yeah, we were. It was a 2-man.
It was a 2-man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here in Miami.
How do you even get into that situation?
We just walk around here and they'll hit us up. Yeah. Or they're like they'll come up to us and ask for our numbers or something.
It's that easy.
Yeah. No, it's not that easy. It is, but it's not.
Okay. So when that guy spent 20K on the two of you, like, what happened?
We just hung out. Yeah. We had dinner. We had dinner. Went to a few clubs. Went on the yacht.
So coming out of that experience, is that the expectation going forward from like your man?
Yes. Yes.
You want him to drop the bag on you?
He doesn't have to, but I'd prefer.
Okay.
We just feel like if we're gonna settle for someone, we want to settle for someone worth it. Yeah. And who values us. Exactly. Because we don't care for being in a relationship, so they have to be special.
But these guys who did that, were you in a relationship with them or no?
No. It was the first time we met. Literally.